What's up, guys? Welcome back to the poker vlog. This is session number 18. Today we're going to be playing 2-5 no limit at the Aria. We're on a bit of a downswing. Lost our last few no limit sessions, so let's get in there, talk about some poker hands, and stay to the end for a trick shot. Hope you enjoy the video. We're switching it up tonight. I just got off work at 2 a.m., technically 3 a.m. because it's daylight savings time. We're going to put in a graveyard session tonight. Walking into the Aria, we buy in for the max 1,000. Let's get started in a short-handed game. We lose like 70 bucks right off the bat with pocket sevens, and then we pick up 6-7 of hearts just a few hands later. $10 straddle is on from under the gun. First player opens for 30. Cutoff calls, I call, and the big blind calls. We had 4 ways to a beautiful flop. King 5-8 with 2 hearts. We flop the world. Flush draw, open-ended straight draw. First player checks, original raiser bets 55. Cutoff calls, and it's to me. We are putting in a raise here for sure. We might be able to take it down right now, and even if we get jammed on, we'll be happy to get it in with what we hope will be 15 outs. So I put in the raise to 225. It's back to the original better now, and he thinks for a bit and decides to put all of it in, which is 400. Next player folds, and we obviously call. The turn is an ace of diamonds. You see the opponent show us the bad news immediately. He's holding ace 4 of hearts. So now we are dead to 6 outs for the straight draw. River is a brick, deuce of clubs, so we lose a big one right off the bat, and we're stuck about 600. Even though he had the 2 hearts, we still had 12 outs and about 35% equity in the hand before he spiked that ace. So not a terrible spot, but let's move on. The game is short-handed, only 6 of us, and exactly an orbit later we pick up King 9 suited on the button. $10 straddle is on, 1 player limps, cutoff raises to 30, I call, and the straddler and limper calls. So we go 4 ways to a flop in position of ace 10-5 with 2 clubs. Here we go, another draw, but it's at the nuts this time. It checks to the original raiser who bets 60. I'm likely up against a big ace, so I just call this time and 1 other player calls. 3 ways to the money card. 3 of clubs hits the turn, giving us the nuts. Both players check to me. Let's continue building a pot here. I bet a little under half the pot, 130. I just lost a big pot, so maybe they won't believe me. Next player folds, and it's back to the pre-flop aggressor. He has about 500 left and decides on a call here. So we go heads up to a 9 of spades on the river. Our hand remains unbeatable. He checks it to me. I'm going for the rest of it. He has 370 behind, and I know that. I bet 375, enough to put them all in. He says, I guess you sucked out and got it. I sure did. He ends up making a good fold, and we take it down. Next, we have ace-8 offsuit from the small blind. A few players are walking, and we are 4-handed. Under the gun player opens for 20. Button folds. I put in the 3-bet to 80. Big blind folds, and the original raiser makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of ace, queen, deuce, all diamonds. I forgot if my 8 was a diamond or not, but doesn't matter, I'll be betting anyway. I lead for 65, looking to take it down here. My opponent doesn't think 65 is enough. He slides out a raise to 200, only leaving himself about 300 behind. He might just have the king of diamonds here, but that's the only hand I'm ahead of. If it's ace, queen, or a set of queens, I'm completely dead, so I make the laydown and we'll look for a better spot. Just 5 minutes later, we pick up a real hand, ace-king from the big blind. Button and small blind limp. We're not limping here. I make it 30 to play. Both players call, and we go 3 ways to a flop of deuce, deuce, 7. First player checks. Shouldn't be many deuces out there for a raise short-handed, so I bet 50. Action to the button, who immediately says 150. Next player folds. I check his stack. He has about 400 behind, and he's about 40 drinks deep. A 2 is definitely in his range, so I make the fold, and he's nice enough to show deuce 3 suited for trips. At least we know we're in a good game. About 45 minutes goes by. We pick up a few new players, and one of them is Action. Says he's waiting for the seat in the uncapped 5, 10, 20 game that's a few tables over. He's already gotten under a few players' skin in the first 10 minutes. Table talk is his game. I have ace 9 suited. He limps under the gun. Next player calls, and I raise to 30. Big blind calls, and all the limpers call. We had 4 ways to a flop of jack 9 deuce with 1 club. All 3 players check to me. I think a small bet or a check is fine. With 3 players in the hand, I decide to check this one back in position. The turn comes another jack, great card, as we likely have the best hand. All 3 players check again, so I put out a $65 bet for value. The big blind calls, and it's to the under the gun player. He says 200. Next player folds, and it's back on us. I feel like he's making a move and thinks I have a hand exactly like I have. It doesn't seem like the other player is strong either, so I decide to make the call here and give him the opportunity to bluff the river. I already told myself if we get a blank, I'm calling an all in. The next player folds, so we're heads up to a blank. 5 of clubs on the river. He only takes a few seconds before.
I'm all in. Oh, you kidding me? You don't need to move.
So exactly what I thought was going to happen, happens. I felt like he was setting up a bluff to jam the river. I still take some time to think it over because it's a $900 shove for all my chips. But you guys know me, when I get a feeling, I usually go with it, and lately it's been working out. I make the hero call, and this time it's bad news. He flips over Jack 5 for the second best hand possible and stacks me. I'm a little annoyed later because had I played with him for just an hour longer, I never make the call, as I soon pick up a tell on this opponent. So we add on for 1,000 more, and we're quickly in this game for 3 buy-ins, in for 3,000. Let's make a comeback. Alright, this next hand we have pocket 7s in the straddle. I didn't get the camera going until after I sat back down from getting more chips. So there was 5 limpers, and my option, I raised it up to 100. The player on the button doesn't believe me, thinks I'm steaming, makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of Queen 5-3 Rainbow. Pretty good flop. We should have the best hand often here. I bet 115 and action on him. He goes into the tank for a while. With the way this session is going, I'm expecting to get raised again. He finally makes the lay down, and it feels nice to drag one in after losing that big pot.
Thank you, boss.
40 minutes of cold cards goes by before picking up Ace-Jack suited on the button. Under the gun player opens to 20. 3 players call. I don't really want to 3-bet here from the button with some early aggression, so I call, and the big blind calls. We had 5 ways to a flop of 10-6 deuce with 1 club. We have overs and backdoor nut flush and straight draws. Original raiser checks, and it checks all the way to me. Feels like someone is setting the trap here, so I check. We get the best turn card in the deck, King of Clubs. We turn a royal flush draw in position. The original raiser likes the king and leads out into the field for 30. The player on his immediate left makes it 80. The next 2 players call 80, and action is on me. I seriously want to jam it in right now, but I'm like 99% sure the player who raised to 80 has a set, so we have a big pot building, and we are likely up against some smaller flush and straight draws. Can we hit our first ever royal? You see the original better throw his hands up in the air. He doesn't know what's going on. He ends up making the call for 50 more. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like and subscribe, guys. Let's bring this pot in. The river is a red paint card. Is it a queen? No. Unfortunately, we brick. It's a king of hearts. First player leads for 200 now. Next player raises to 625. Everybody folds. Guy ends up calling, and he shows pocket 6s for a full house. So it's not going great so far. This is one of those sessions that's going 4 or more players to a flop, so you need to hit some flops to win. Just a few hands later, I pick up King Jack from the hijack. Under the gun player limps, which has been meaningless tonight. There's been a ton of limping from every position. Next player raises to 10. 1 caller. I'm in an aggressive mood. I make it 60. It folds back to the original $10 raiser who calls, and player on my right calls. We had 3 ways to a flop of Jack 8-4 with 2 hearts. So we have top pair but no redraws. Both players check to me. I bet 75 for value. Next player folds, but the player on my right is a non-believer. He makes the call. We go heads up to a great turn card, the King of Diamonds. I'm expecting it to be checked to me, but this session has gone the opposite of as expected. He leads out this time with a bet of 125. It's a small bet. It feels like he's trying to draw out a river for cheap. I can't let that happen. I raise it to 375. He checks his stack to see if it's worth it, decides it's not, and makes the laydown. We are on the right track now.
Thank you.
10 minutes later, I'm back on the button with ace-queen suited. Under the gun player limps. Cutoff raises to 25. Probably 99% of the time I'm 3-betting here, but decide to switch it up because I've been very aggressive. I just call, and under the gun limper calls. We had 3 ways to a flop of ace-10-7 with 2 diamonds. So we got top pair with a queen kicker that nobody's going to put me on. First player checks. The pre-flop raiser bets 75, leaving himself 4 black chips behind. He could have any ace from this position, including ace-king. I call, I just keep my hand disguised. The next player folds, and we are heads up. We get a blank on the turn, 4 of hearts. He only takes a few seconds before quickly pushing in his last 4 black chips, and, well, let's play it out. I totally underrep my hand.
Alright. Did you really? Slow plan?
Can't beat ace king.
Ace king?
Yeah, he does not have ace king. Very good.
Ace king, ace jack. Wow.
So we pick up a big one there with 1 pair. Got lucky with that ace over ace flop, but had it disguised nicely. Things are going in our direction now. We've recouped the 900 back from that hero call. We're only stuck 1200. We were stuck 2200. To the last eventful hand of the night, or morning I should say, I have 9-10 suited in the cutoff. Under the gun player limps. Next player raises to 25. He's a new player, has been tighter for the last hour. I call, small blind, big blind, and under the gun limper call. This has been the theme of this session, 4 or more players heading to flops for a single raise. So we go 5 ways to a flop of 10-8-4 with 1 heart. We flop top pair with some backdoor straight and flush draws. All 4 players check to me. We must have the best hand at the moment. I bet 50 to fold out some ace highs and overcards. To my surprise, the next 3 players call and the pre-flop raiser folds. So we have a decent pot building. We get the turn I was hoping for in the 7 of hearts. So we improve to top pair with an open-ended straight flush draw. All opponents check to me. I don't feel like any of them are setting the trap this time. They feel pretty weak. But you've seen how my reads have gone tonight. I might regret not taking a free card here, but I'm not slowing down. I bet 135, hoping for 1 caller, but they all missed and fold their hands.
I can pick one?
Yeah.
All right, I'll pick this one.
Yeah, go pair.
That's a gentleman. You know what I'm saying?
You'll be fine.
That was the action player looking to see one of my cards. I showed him 1. I actually played for 4 more hours, guys, but nothing eventful happened. Pretty card dead, flop dead. Stack dwindled back down to about 1180. I ended up losing 1868 on the session, so not great. I went to PLO, won 300 back, so lost almost 1600 on the day, and not terrible considering I was down about 2300, I think, at the lowest point. So happy to get some back. We're already 8 hours in, dead tired, so let's see you at the end of the video. All right, guys, that's it for episode number 18. Hope you enjoyed it. Another losing session, 3 in a row now and no limit. Luckily, we've won in Omaha to reduce some of the damage on this downswing. Picked up about 1,700 playing Omaha the last few times, so running good over there. Nice to switch things up every once in a while. But if you're new to the channel, hope you like and subscribe. Trying to put out 2 videos a week on Sundays and Wednesdays. I already know this is going to be really difficult. I still work and trying to play a couple times a week and edit the videos myself. It's going to be difficult, but I'm definitely putting out a video on Sundays. Check back on Wednesdays, possibly Thursdays for the second video. Sometimes I might not be able to finish them, but anyway, welcome to the channel if you're here. As always, stay to the end for a trick shot. I appreciate you guys watching till the end, and we'll see you on the next episode. Later, everyone. Oh my gosh, we got it.